Hello, everybody. Welcome along. Horizontal. Good to see you, mate. Thank you. Thanks for coming along. Steve, always a pleasure, mate. You're a total gentleman. Hello, everybody. Welcome along. Hang on. We've stuffed something. Horizontal. Good to see you, mate. All right. We're right now. Steve, you're a total gentleman. Justin, g'day, buddy. I can't call you a gentleman, but you're getting there. Take some lessons from Steve. G'day, Stephen. Thanks for coming along, mate. Right, we've got a bit of an interesting stream tonight. We've got the normal type of news and a few things like that. And guess what? I did the stuff right, so the photographs actually come out this week. So it's a bit easier than the little thing up the top corner to look at where I stuffed it up last week. I do apologise for that. Cambo, g'day, mate. Thanks for coming along. Jim, haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for coming along. Andy, thank you also. Welcome, gentlemen. All right, we're going to start off with I don't know how to pronounce your name, mate. Tex you. G'day, mate. Thanks for coming along. Jürgen, g'day, buddy. When I go into the news thing, I can't see comments. So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit, and then just you'll see my ugly head again, and I'll just catch up with the comments because, as you people know, I really appreciate your input into it. So we've got a couple of short stories. Then I'll give you the bad news about money, and it's one thing about in this game. It's always good to have friends. A news feed was passed along to me, which is kind of down my alley a little bit, and thank you, Stephen, for that. So I'll have a little bit of a talk about that one. That's a little bit long-winded, but it's a very relevant story. So, all right, let's kick it off, eh? There you are. Changchil is an elephant-friendly camp that is reopened. It's the best place to see elephants basically in a more wild habitat environment. It reopened in June 2019. At the moment, it has 6 female resident elephants, and the whole approach of it is zero harm to the elephants and very small amount of input. Visitors are welcome to go along, and there's no cruelty, there's no circus acts, there's none of that. It's a place where elephants can become elephants and re-get back to what they really are. As you know, I like the feel good. I like the feel good stuff. And g'day, James. Thanks for coming along. Lana, g'day, Adrian. Hope you're feeling better, mate. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, I like me feel good stories. There's too many the bad ones, and I like to try and promote Thailand in the way I see it as a good place, and it really is the culture, the people, the whole lot of it. Now this one, I think is a real milestone for Thailand. As we know, a lot of our countries and that the car manufacturing plants have seen Southeast Asia as a achievement and things like that. But for a town that I've got in my heart as well, because I've got relatives down there, and that's a big employer. They just towards the end of last week, they produced a 500,000 engine. Now, these engines are fitted to the D-Maxes, turbo diesels, the Colorados, and the Trailblazers, which is a good thing. Oh, there's my darling. Hello, darling. How are you? Yeah, so it's a good thing. And employment for Thailand. Yeah, it's sad to see some of that go from our country, but that's multi-capitalism, multicultural. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, all that all rolled into one. So yeah, at the end of the day, now the next one is kind of interesting subject. Ways and on the group stream we kind of until I caught up with this we joked about it, but I'm wondering if it's no longer a joke. And the reason I say I wonder it's no longer a joke, the Thai embassy Wasit Surya set a deadline for August 23 for the monitoring ankle and wrist bracelets. But the devices had a few flaws and the contract would be revoked if the firm that produced these items didn't kind of fix them. Now, I did kind of joke about it a little bit, that maybe they'll give up the TM30 and everybody will wear a ankle or wrist bracelet, and they'll lock it on and take it off at customs. Well, myself, I've got no real problems with that, but it kind of makes you think, doesn't it, that with the ministries and that going into looking at the technology of these items, their way of keeping track on the people that visit the kingdom. So I don't know if I'm reading something into it, or maybe they're thinking along the lines that that's the easiest way to do it, is with those wrist bracelets. Like I say, personally, I wouldn't give a damn. And I don't think, a lot of the people would care that, if they had a wrist bracelet on or one around the ankle. I don't know about the ankle, but like a wrist bracelet, and it wasn't too intrusive while you're in the kingdom and it stopped a lot of paperwork, why not? So that's one that we'll keep an eye on and see where it kind of goes to. Now, last week we spoke about the rescue of the little dwarf whale. It was found on a beach. Funny, beach has got something. The mother had allergies and God knows what, and so did the little one. And there was a desperate try to save. That was named Hope, but unfortunately, with all the efforts and that, Hope passed away. And also this week, a baby dugong that was in the same facility also passed away. And on autopsy of the dugong, there was found plastic bags in the stomach of the dugong. So watch out where you're throwing your plastic bags, please. They do enter the environment, and as we've seen by this one, they're only young. They've got the right to have a bit of a life and stuff like that, but unfortunately, plastic bag took one life, and the poor little dwarf whale. It would have most likely caught whatever ailments was from the mother through the milk, but it passed away. So that's a little bit sad. And it would have been good to report on that one and say, everything was going really, really good. But unfortunately, in nature, it always doesn't turn up that bad. But I found an interesting little clip there that really made me giggle. A Bangkok homeowner kind of returned home and had a little bit of a surprise. Yeah, just a little bit of surprise. So waiting on the couch, waiting to say hello, and walk right in, sit right down. And there's a little bit of leftover pizza that the croc enjoyed. So maybe having your pet croc would be a little bit better than a burger alarm or a dog or something like that. So that's always an option, isn't it? That's always an option, yeah. Now, I suppose, yeah, we have to do it. Everybody got their handkerchiefs out. Steve the Butcher, thanks for coming along, mate. How you going, buddy? Horizontal, yeah, I heard about that one. About that the doggy. Obviously, he must have had a little bit of a fetish for rubber duckies. That was an interesting one as well, but I kind of let that one slide under the radar a bit. So, all right, we're going to get into the bad news. As of 4 p.m. Australian time. No, it wasn't. It was 5, just before I watched MASH, my favourite picture show on telly. We did the Super Rich and at Sewaniput, not head office. The US dollar, 30.67. The British pound, 37.20. The euro, 33.95. The Canadian dollar, 23.05. The Australian dollar, bugger, slipped a little bit again this week, 20.65. For George, 36.75. And for Jurgen, your money slipped a little bit, mate. It slipped a little bit, but not a lot. It's 3.13. So yeah, that's the only bad news I'm going to talk about. But remembering, in my opinion, and from my experiences, Wednesday, kind of Thursday mornings, usually the best time to trade. It's usually when you get the better rates. But right now we're going to go on to once again, I won't be able to see any questions because we're doing a little bit of a slideshow while we talk about it. It's a little bit long-winded. We've got quite a few pages here to read out. It's my take on it, and it's very, very interesting. So we'll just throw up a couple of photos to start it off, and away we go. What am I doing there? Hang on. What did I do wrong there? I don't know what I did wrong there. Anyhow, we'll go. Let's do it. Yes. Have I got your attention now? Okay. Yoshi Taylor left Brisbane for a trip to Phnom Penh in late 2013. She was unaware that the Australian Federal Police were tracking her. As a single mother of 2 children, she was on her way to Cambodia to start a new career, a new job selling Cambodian arts and crafts from a, let's call it, so-called reputable dealer that she'd met online. The person she knew as Precise Precus Max, whom she founded a friendship and ideas. Well, with her trip, unbeknownst to her, the Australian Federal Police informed the Cambodian police that they had suspected Max was a part of an international drug ring, and they tipped off the Cambodian police that she was on her way. So after the tip-off, the Cambodian police and that, they tracked her, and on her way home, she was met at the Phnom Penh airport, and she was shocked to find in a backpack she had been given that was supposed to be full of, and which it did have, arts, like little crafty products and stuff like that, of which with Max supplying the stuff, and she was going to open up a little business and sell it, because she was a single parent with two children. So it gave her that opportunity. Well, as we can see, it didn't work well, because she was thrown in jail, and she was charged and sentenced to 23 years, not knowing at any time what the real charges were, because everything was in Cambodian and whatever, and she was shocked. Basically, she was an innocent victim. So she's sitting there in a Cambodian jail, no support from Australia at all, no nothing, where she didn't know, convicted of something, she didn't know her terms, she didn't know anything. A lot of it came from the Australian Federal Police, didn't update the Cambodian officials. And at the same time she was to fly out, or just prior, the Australian Federal Police had been tracking some others that had been caught up in the same scheme. The others, there was two others, basically the same thing. One was taken into custody at Perth Airport, the other one in Melbourne Airport. Now, those people actually faced the system in Australia, and they were found not guilty, and basically because they were innocent victims of a scam. But Miss Taylor, meanwhile, is still sitting in a prison in Phnom Penh, which was still not really knowing what was going on until it came to the notice of a group of lawyers, very high up lawyers, who actually went to her aid, finding out basically through they represented the other two cases and found out about the third, so they went to Cambodia, and with the aid of a Cambodian lawyer type of translator and all the rest of it, they launched an appeal, of which Miss Taylor went to the Supreme Court, and her conviction was squashed, and she was set free. She was free to go. So now back in Australia, Miss Taylor's, reunited with her family and things like that, but she is struggling to find, affordable accommodation. As she lost her home, she lost all her savings. Without any intervention, without the Australian lawyers going into bat for her, she'd be still serving a 25-year prison sentence. So, we as Australians, is it right to not view all this? Or do we just say, you're in a different country, we abandon you? As realistically, the Australian Federal Police were the ones that tipped off the police in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, of which out of the tips and following Miss Taylor, the Cambodian police rounded up Max and his French girlfriend, or accomplice. And mind you, Max and his French girlfriend, known as Savanio, they found themselves in jail for 25 years for their part of what they were doing and all that. So I suppose there's two rightful arrests and a couple of wrongfuls there. But once again, if somebody asks you to carry a bag or do something like that for them, be very aware. You never know what's in them. So we'll go back to the questions, and that one was that was a good one. I found that very interesting, but I looked at it and thought, well, the Federal Police kind of basically did their job, but they kind of left her to swing when the other two could have been arrested exactly the same when they were exonerated from their part of it because they were unwilling participants. In some ways, I think Australia's got a little bit to answer for there. It reminds me of another story I spoke about where the Australian Federal Police had a man arrested, and that all kind of made the Thais look bad and backfired, and it became a bit political, but we're not going to talk about that one. So I hope that was entertaining for you, gents. There's a couple of feel-good ones there for you. And, that one, really opens your eyes up. Who can you trust? It really makes you think. When at the end of the day, people looking for an option just to make a couple of bob on the side unknowingly become drug smugglers, drug mules. And when it comes to the country that knows everything that's going on, just leaves them rot. I don't think that's very fair. So anyhow, gentlemen, with that, I'm going to say good night. I thank you all, each and every one of you, for dropping along. And I will see you next Monday night. Now for the collaborative channel, I won't be on Saturday night, going to Melbourne. But the lads have got a good show coming up. They've got a couple of guests coming on that'll entertain you for a while, and so get along and support that. And Justin and Niall are starting up or getting their stuff ready to do a younger person's, view and talk on Thailand. So I know you know the lads. So if you've got a bit of time, give them a bit of support. So as I always say, stay safe and take care. Johnny out. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming along. Bye.